Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh in this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
Wow, you think? Yeah! Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Brees Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Brees Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Rucker, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet! J-E-T-S, Jet! Let's go!
Yo, what is going on, Jets Media? We tuning in here live on Jets Media. We're going to be talking about the Cincinnati Bengals game on Sunday, and we're going to be recapping what happened on last Sunday, the miraculous victory the Jets pulled off. And today we have a special guest who everybody's been asking for all week. Where is he at? Where is he at? Well, he's joining the show, and you guys know him very well. He's been on the stream, the channel, throughout this entire tenure of Jets Media. So let's welcome him in. What's going on, Jack? How you doing today, my man?
What's up, my man? Thank you for having me as always. I'm doing wonderful. Very happy to be on here chatting with you. And thank you. We got some heavy hitters in the chat. We got D Santana, we got Braden, we got Joe the Jet, we got Dan Desp, legend, we got Nicholas Sarko, we got the one, the only Chris Dorado, we got Arjun Baller. And that's just in the first 2 minutes, man. This is going to be a good little stream.
Shout out to my cousin, Chris, for tuning into the show. Hope you're feeling well, Chris. Miss you, my man. We'll be hopping on some Call of Duty right after this. You already know it. So today, we're basically going to be talking about what the Jets need to do to get this W on Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, man, it's an 0-2 game. The Bengals are 0-2. They have a very struggling offensive line. Joe Burrow has been sacked the most out of any NFL quarterback, but they're still the Bengals coming off an AFC championship, heading to the Super Bowl. Very well coached, very talented team. And, the Jets are coming off a miraculous victory. So I'll give you the floor, Jack. I want to give you your thoughts and your reaction to that game because I'm sure everyone wants to hear what you have to say. But before we do that, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show. Really appreciate everybody tuning into the channel right now. What's good, John? What's good, Clinton? Everybody tuning in. Appreciate you guys. So, Jack, give your overall thoughts and your takeaways from that crazy victory the Jets got against the Browns.
Yeah, man. I mean, what a game. There's so much to unpack. But, initial takeaways was, Joe Flacco did his job. Joe Flacco looked good out there. The offensive line kept him on his feet, which was big. And Joe Flacco even, used the tiny little bit of mobility that he has left in the tank. He used it on Sunday. So it was just great to see the offense really clicking, pretty much all game long. Garrett Wilson, obviously the rookie, had his breakout game, and thank God it came so early in the year, right? Because remember last year we're waiting on Elijah Moore. When is this guy going to pop? We had to wait till the latter half of the season. But here we are, game 2, Garrett Wilson's rookie year, and he absolutely pops off. Gets 30 fantasy points for Richie. So, I mean, you can't ask for anything more from the rook. It's absolutely wonderful to see. Brees Hall as well got in the end zone. He looked good. It was kind of like, I think week 1 was clearly Michael Carter's day, and I think week 2 was probably more Brees's day. So it's nice to see that we really have a solid 1-2 punch in the backfield. The defense didn't play that great. We let up too many big chunks of yards, too many explosive plays. We made Nick Chubb look like a god, although Nick Chubb is pretty much a god. Nick Chubb is a beast. But, defense obviously could have played better. Shout out to special teams though as well, man. Special teams with
Rated man, special teams player of the week.
insane improvement from week 1 to week 2. We already waived that punter that we signed to the practice squad. We're like, all right, Brady, good stuff. That's what we needed to see. That was a little kick in the ass that he needed, and we got our punter back. And at the end of the day, it was a hard-fought game. It wasn't the prettiest victory in the world, but the Browns, who looked pretty damn good last night, Jacoby Brissett looked awesome last night. The Browns have one loss in their loss column, and that's from the New York Jets, maybe. So I love that. I love everything about that. It gets me hyped up going into this week, although my expectations are still very much tempered. But yeah, a win is a win, and it's so great to get a win in September. 1-1, 500. Right there with so many other teams in the league. So just the fact that we're not one of the 0-2 teams, the fact that we're in the mix with a victory, it feels fantastic.
It really does. And I think that victory does so much for this young team to get that taste of winning in the locker room so early in the season, where it's less of just, being 0-2, listen to the coaching staff, listen to the outside noise. Everyone's doubting them, but they don't have a sense of victory where they don't know what it's like. Now this young team gets a taste of what this city is like. They see my craziness reaction getting posted everywhere. They see all Jets fans around the world's reactions that the Jets posted about. They see how much this Jets football team means to us fans because we care so much. We've been through so much bad football, and a win like that against a really good Cleveland Browns team, and especially the way that they pulled it out, down 13 points with a minute 55 seconds to go. Stuff like that usually doesn't happen to the Jets, Jack. I mean, we are usually on the other side of that. There were some luck that went in our favor, but I don't think any Jets fans complaining about taking advantage of Browns' mistakes, collapsing in the second with 2 minutes left. Yes, it was busted coverage for Corey Davis, but shout out to Joe Flacco for getting him the football. And that onside kick, the Jets haven't recovered an onside kick since 2016. And then Joe Flacco had to go down the field and get that game winner. So excellent job from this Jets team. And then shout out to Ashton Davis for sealing the deal, man. That game really could be a big spark plug for the rest of the season. I know it's so early. I know it's only week 2 we're talking about. But for the Jets to get that victory so early in the season and get that out of the way instead of being 0-2 or potentially 0-3, 0-4, it's just, it's so relieving. It's so relieving. So turning the page, go for it.
Yeah, one more thing real quick. This is the kind of win that at this point, with where this Jets organization is currently at, these are the kinds of wins that I expect, especially against a good team like the Browns. I look at the schedule, and even in the second half of the year when we have easier opponents, hopefully we're going to win most of those games, and I expect to win a bunch of those games. But I don't expect to blow these teams out of the water, So, a 1-point victory is obviously closer than anyone would have thought. I mean, we all thought we were going to lose. So, we'll take a victory in any way, shape, or form. But one is, as close as a victory can be, right? So, obviously we're looking for, a solid victory in the near future. That would be fantastic. But for right now, man, I mean, if we're gonna win in these scrappy, 1-3, 7-point games. So I'm stoked on it, man. You can't really harp on any negative aspects right now. And also, week 2 of the season, we're going into week 3 now. Healthy, right? Healthy.
CJ Uzama's back.
It's big, man. It's big.
Really is big, man.
And injuries so far, like that's big.
It really is. I mean, we escaped 2 games without any significant injury. Like, that is so important, and let's hope that stays that way. Obviously, we're missing out on Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown, but Max Mitchell stepping up in their shoes, so it's not really feeling like it's a big miss. But man, it really does feel like that this Jets team has a different, energy to them getting that type of win because, wow, did this fan base need it. But now turning the page to the Cincinnati Bengals, we're going up against a team that is 0-2, losing to Mitch Trubisky and Cooper Rush. I think the Jets actually stack up well against the Bengals. And I'm not just saying that because we're coming off a victory. The Jets pass rush hasn't really broke out yet. Carl Lawson had his first sack last week. It was a half a sack with him and Quinnen Williams. John Franklin Myers has been doing a great job of getting to the quarterback, but he has not got a sack just yet. But I think this could be the game where this Jets front seven takes over because I think that they have every single opportunity to take advantage of an offensive line that is talented, but they're not in sync just yet because they're all brand new. They have no continuity yet. and they have a struggling offensive line protecting Joe Burrow. And yes, they have the playmakers all over the place with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and all those guys. But if this Jets defense really wants to take over this game and win them this football game, it's really up to them, because I think that they are the biggest X factor for winning this game. And obviously Joe Flacco needs to step up. Joe Flacco's third in the league in passing yards, and he's coming off a phenomenal game. Garrett Wilson is coming off Rookie of the Week. So what are your keys to victory against the Cincinnati Bengals team? How do you feel like the Jets need to pull off the upset?
I think that we have to, number one is start Mike White. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's like almost too perfect that here we are at home.
Hey, I have to say something real quick. The Jets on their social team posted a video today of all the Jets players like, come buy tickets, let's go sell out the game. Just like a little ad of like getting Jets fans to get riled up to come to the game. And it was a long 60-second clip, and then the last 3 seconds was Mike White. And he wasn't he was not in the video until the end. And he's like, you might want to be there. You never know what might happen.
Yo, I love that, dude. I love that because we were there, baby. Let's go. Best day of my life.
Oh, my God. Jimmy with the $2 says, bro, what's the point of the stream? Of course we're winning. Hell yeah, Jimmy. We all love the support from Jimmy.
I love
it. He's very confident in this Jets team. So, Jack, what's the keys to victory?
And that's the thing. I love the confidence from everybody, but I'm holding it way back, man. I'm holding it way back. I'm still in the line of thought that I'm going to expect garbage football and hope to be surprised, because everything about this game is smelling like a revenge game. The Bengals have dropped 2 games to start the year that everybody thought they should have won, right? We obviously all know what happened when we played the Bengals at home last year. So everything to me smells like Joe Burrow is about to come out and throw for 797 million yards, and Jamar Chase is going to have 8 touchdowns. But I really do think that, obviously, as we saw last year, it is a winnable game. If we get after Joe Burrow, that's number one. Their improved offensive line, we see, hasn't really improved much at all, it looks like, at least at this early point in the season. But yeah, I think number one is get to Joe Burrow, rattle his cage a little bit. We got to have, we got to have more sacks than we've gotten this year in any previous game, which won't be that difficult because the sack numbers haven't been crazy. But I'm saying we got to at least get like 5 sacks, and I'm happy with that. But this defensive line has to absolutely get after it. From a football analytics perspective, I agree with everything you said. I really do think we match up well with the Bengals. Better than a lot of non-Jets fans would think. But from a superstitious, psychotic Jets fans perspective, I don't want to say any of it. I'm not going to say, oh, we're going to come out here at home and get the dub. I just feel like it's cursed if I start talking like that. So I'm all for optimism, but extremely cautious optimism, at least on my end. I think the keys to victory are definitely there. It's possible. But we have to be absolutely on our A game. I hope this I hope this drives our players to be better, and I hope this didn't instill any sort of arrogance in them or something like that. And I don't think it did. This is just my superstitious, pessimistic 20+ year fandom of the Jets.
No, because the reality of this, Jack, is this Jets team still has a lot of proving to do. They're coming off a win that was a miracle.
A 1-point win, exactly.
A 1-point win over a really good team that they took advantage of collapse. And it was a great win. But this Jets team still has a lot of proving to do. They have not really proved anything. And the shots at the Jets are going to continue to come from the national media until we start building a consistent winner. And I also want to say, if we lose on Sunday, I do not think the sky is falling. Because we have to remember, we're playing with our backup quarterback in Joe Flacco. This team is Zach Wilson's team. And Zach Wilson seems to be coming back in week number 4 against the Steelers if everything goes well. We're hopeful that Zach Wilson comes out there and plays good football. So if the Jets lose on Sunday and they're competitive and they lose, it's going to suck. I don't want to lose football. I'm not content with losing, but I also don't think that it's going to be the worst case scenario possible, because I think we can beat the Steelers based on what we're seeing from them. And I always said before the season began, if we can come out of that first 4 games of the AFC North 2-2, That is absolutely astronomically gigantic for this Jets franchise this season. So I'm not coming in with this with the losing mentality, but I also want to make sure that Jets fans understand that if we go out there on Sunday and lose to the defending AFC champions just because they're 0-2, doesn't mean that the sky is falling and we're the same old Jets again. Because we're playing with our backup quarterback, and the odds are against us. We're the big-time underdog. We have to prove ourselves. There's a lot of proving to do. So there's a big test for the Jets coaching staff, big test for the Jets young players, and you have to remind Jets fans that we're relying on young talent here. We're relying on the rookies of Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall and Max Mitchell and year 2 guys of Michael Carter and AVT and Elijah Moore to really step up. We're relying on the youth here, and that's a great thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that also comes with lackluster of football consistency. When you play a lot of young players, you cannot expect us to be consistent right out of the gate. The goal is to build a long-term sustainable franchise with this youth. So that's where I want to ground Jets fans. And don't get over the top and think we're back and think we're all of a sudden this team that's going to go out there and shock the world every week.
I think this whole I totally agree with you, man. I think this whole season was kind of a shot in the dark to begin with. You know, it's like, all right, weapons are there. Let's see if Zach Wilson can play. Oh shit, Zach Wilson's hurt. Here we are with Joe Flacco, but we're 1-1. And I think this is just going to be a crazy, chaotic season filled with ups and downs. But if we can win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, that's fine. You know, we just can't, lose for a month straight. We can't, go 0-6 within the division. Those are the things we can't do.
Exactly.
We got to win these scrappy games. And then the second half of the year, all those games where we might hopefully be favorited by then at least, we got to win those games. I still have nightmares thinking about, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when the Bengals were the worst team in the league. And they were like 0-12, and we gave them their first victory of the season. And like stuff like that just makes me sick to my stomach. So we got to win all the games we're supposed to. And hey, no one expected us to beat the Browns. So if we can occasionally beat a team that we're not supposed to in a crazy, scrappy, down to the wire game, that's what the Jets are all about, man. So that's the way we're going to,
and it's really possible. It really is, because you know what, Joe Flacco, Jack, what really impressed me? Week 1, we were there for that game, and Joe Flacco did not look good. But I think a big reason for that was the offensive line, because it was, you watch the film, they were just so bad where Joe Flacco, you couldn't even ask him to do anything. And then week 2, we're going up against Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. And yeah, Garrett got his sack, Clowney got a sack, but those are the only 2 sacks. And Flacco got hit 5 times, and they kept him upright. And Joe Flacco puts up 4 touchdowns with a passer rating of 110 and no interceptions. I mean, when you protect for the veteran, and dude, he was putting the ball in like that game-winning touchdown. Are you kidding me? To Garrett Wilson. He threw that football before Garrett Wilson broke his route.
That was an absolute.
It was, the anticipation was ridiculous. That shows you that Joe Flacco still got it, but he's not gonna be able to play sound football unless you protect for him. That's the issue. Like, you can get away with Zach Wilson where you don't protect him consistently because he can rely on his athleticism, whereas Joe Flacco, if you do not protect for him, it's the end of the game. So the Jets are coming off a really good performance from their offensive line, and I got to give credit to this player who is one of Jack's favorite players, and I'm not sure you're aware of how good he has been so far this season. Elijah Vera Tucker is the #1 blocking guard in the NFL to start off the season. You watch the tape. I'll have to show you the clips, Jack, because you will be absolutely just in awe of our guy, Elijah Vera Tucker, because we were both there when we drafted him. And I watched the film. He's pulling, he's setting people up, he's clipping, he's doing everything you want. The transition to the left guard or right guard seems seasonable, and he's looking like an absolute star. So how does that make you feel to hear that?
Yeah, I had no idea until right now. That's awesome, man. And it's a shame. I definitely got to get on the wave and sign up for whatever it is, NFL Pass or Game Pass, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's $10 a month.
Oh yeah, dude, I got to get on that wave because I always try to, all right, this play I'm going to watch so-and-so, this play I'm going to watch so-and-so. And then, your instincts take over and you just follow the ball. So, how often do you really hone in on?
It's hard to watch on a broadcast, especially live.
Yeah, during the live broadcast, how often do you really hone in on an offensive lineman for the entire rep? Probably never, maybe once or twice if you're really thinking about it. So I definitely got to get on that wave and start really breaking down the film of these righteous dudes on the O-line. But yeah, ABT's my man. We were so hyped. I'll never forget it, dude. As soon as we saw the trade up to 14, we're like, oh, there's only one person that Joe Douglas is trading up for, and it's Elijah Vera Tucker. And
So that is a great sign that AVT is playing this well. The entire offensive line is really trending in the right direction. The only person that looks bad on this O-line is Connor McGovern. And if 4 out of your 5 offensive linemen is looking good, you have a very good offensive line. Now, I feel like we have to talk about this player. We brought him up a little bit, but this guy is definitely stepping up. Is Garrett Wilson a star in his first 2 games already? Because he's already on pace. 12 catches, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has all these stats are better than both Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase in their first 2 rookie games. And we all know what they did in their rookie campaigns. There is always a rookie receiver every single season that breaks out and looks like the number 1 receiver and looks like one of the best receivers in the league immediately. Now, when you draft a receiver at the 10th overall pick, he should have those qualities to take over the league. Now, what I saw from Garrett Wilson in the film room in week number 1 was so many missed opportunities. What we saw week number 2 is Joe Flacco capitalizing on those missed opportunities from last week and feeding him the ball. 14 targets, and guess what? He still missed him on some opportunities, because what Garrett Wilson is showing me, Jack, is that the game's not too big for him. He has every single quality you'd ask for in a traditional number 1 receiver. His route running is ridiculous. His ability to set up defensive backs, to create separation is unbelievable. His route running is just mind-blowing. And he just looks like a basketball player out there with the way he runs his routes. I just love his violent footwork. So what's been your biggest takeaway from Garrett Wilson in his early 2 games? And obviously it's only 2 games. He has to get consistent and really stretch this out for the rest of the year. But I got a lot of confidence that he's only getting better and better as the season goes on.
Yeah, well, I totally agree. But that's the thing. To answer your initial question, is Garrett Wilson a star? No. Does he have star potential? And is he showing that he could be, one of those types of chase, young, incredible receivers by the end of his rookie campaign? 100%. The numbers don't lie. The tape doesn't lie. I can't call the guy a star after 2 games. Especially, it would be different if some of those, reps where he was wide open, actually, the ball found him on those plays in week 1. And he had, 254 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I think, either way, it's obviously, and it's kind of, it's not even a serious question. Is Garrett Wilson a star? No, but yes, at the same time, because we know what he could be, just based on the super small sample size that we've seen so far. But yeah, I think, when you look at the tape of Garrett Wilson, I think that, he doesn't really have a weakness to his game. He's got these like the way he catches the ball is like so aggressive, but like soft at the same time. It's like so weird to see, and even
acrobatic,
even harder to describe. Yeah, he looks like a gymnast out there. Just like he looks like a gazelle, like on the African, just like trotting around, waiting for a ball. And yeah, I think that clearly he came to play week 2. He came to play week 1 as well, but week 2, the ball found him, and I think the sky is the limit for him, man. I really do. I mean, everything about his game, I think, is he just plays at a super, super high level. And especially, I love the way you described it, his violent footwork. When I see the replay of him like making a cut, I'm like, oh my God, if I did that, like my knee would be like on the floor. I'd require 3 surgeries. So just watching what this guy is able to do with his body, and how he's able to just, be so aggressive, but maintain such control at the same time. He really is like very graceful.
He makes this play, for example, Jack. He makes it look so easy. This is not an easy thing to accomplish in the NFL.
That's rookie on rookie. So we're stoked to see that Garrett Wilson is just obliterating a cornerback that he probably should be obliterating,
Like I love his patience, where he starts off and then he just plants his foot into his left foot into the ground. His head twitches. Literally, his entire body is going inside to bait the slant, and then it gets the DB just completely committed to the slant. I mean, to get that much separation on a fade route in your second career NFL game, it just doesn't get any better than that, man. It really doesn't. I'm really at a loss for words. This, like, not to overhype him or anything, but rookies don't do that. That is a veteran type of move, to have the patience and the whereabouts and the ability to understand how to set up defensive backs on the goal line like that. Like, that's Devontae Adams level stuff. And I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Devontae Adams, but that's teach tape. And for a rookie to have teach tape where there's kids going to be watching that tape to learn how to run a route, that tells you everything you need to know about how good Garrett Wilson looks. And the best part about this Garrett Wilson resurgence, Jack, is people are forgetting about our guy Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is going to be opened up even more. It's not like E. Moore has been dropping balls or has been doing anything wrong. He's been open. It's just Garrett Wilson has been finding the ball with Joe Flacco. Do not forget about Elijah Moore, because he is going to be special all season long, and I'm really excited to see what he can do on Sunday. I think he's going to have his biggest game so far this year.
100%, bro. Jets forever right here. It says top 5 wide receivers in football: Garrett Wilson, Denzel Mims, Elijah Moore, Cooper Kupp, and Justin Jefferson. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, keep on Elijah, man. Elijah's an absolute monster. And I'm hoping that Joe Flacco doesn't sleep on Elijah, because I got him in the fantasy team. I got him at the flex slot in the double flex league. So I'm hoping that Elijah has his games as well, like Garrett just had. And, I just don't want Elijah Moore to go into year 3 having 700 yards this year. You know what I'm saying? I want Elijah Moore to have his time as well, because he's a beast in his second year, and he's ready to go, baby. We had to wait basically halfway through the year last year to see what he had. And he was a top 5, fantasy wide receiver for the last half of the season. He was playing so well. So I need to see more of that as well. And if we can, it's a good problem to have, not being able to get the ball to both of these guys as much as you'd like, because they're both very good. And if one's got the hot hand, then you keep feeding it. If this offense could get to a point where it's like, okay, first down, 6-yard run to Breece Hall, and then the playbook is wide open on 2nd and 4. You can call any play you want. Play action. Garrett Wilson streaking across the middle, 23 yards. Another first down, 5-yard gain to Michael Carter. Playbook's wide open. Boom, Elijah Moore, little post out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can get both of these guys involved, and I mentioned the run game like that because we know that's still primarily what this offense is.
We haven't even seen the full potential of the run game yet.
No, we haven't.
We haven't run the ball yet.
But we know that it's it's when this offense is at its fullest potential, and when we're playing the football we want to play.
And we're not playing from behind.
Yes, we want to be running the ball 60% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
what the duo reminds me of, Jack? And I don't want to overhype it, but the Bengals. Can Garrett Wilson be Jamar Chase? Can Elijah Moore be T. Higgins? Guess what? The Bengals drafted Jamar Chase early in the first round. The Bengals drafted T. Higgins early in the second round. The New York Jets drafted Garrett Wilson early in the first round. The New York Jets drafted Elijah Moore early in the second round. And they were both in the same draft classes. Or I think T. Higgins was a year before Elijah Moore. I could be wrong on that one. But I know Elijah Moore and T. Higgins are different receivers because T. Higgins is a bigger body. I'm not comparing their play styles, but that's the type of 1-2 punch you want to see with Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, is what Jamar Chase and T. Higgins became.
100%. And, any other person besides a Jets fan that hears that would be like, what, is this guy nuts? But, we're not making a direct comparison. It's just saying that, these two wide receivers have the potential. And you know what I love too, which we haven't spoke about once this entire stream. We have 2 stud wide receivers that have the potential to be monsters. And on the other side of the ball, we got 2 stud cornerbacks.
Number 1 corner in football, and his name is DJ Reed.
Monsters, man. So I'm loving the young wide receiver tandem of Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. And I'm loving the cornerback tandem of Sauce Gardner.
The new Revis and Cromartie.
Yeah, of Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. And by the way, Rich, and anybody else out there, they just released an 88 overall Sauce Gardner card in Ultimate Team. So I'm trying to get my hands on that puppy and get Sauce in some one-on-one. Let's see a
Loving
little
to hear that.
sauce.
Shout out to Euphoria with the $5 donation. Appreciate that, my man. We're ranked third in passing yards and first in attempts and completion. Our passing offense is elite, and Zach has the potential to blow this up. Rip Eli Apple. So that is very true. The New York Jets offense, Jack, is 8th in the NFL in yards per game. Joe Flacco's 3rd in the league in yards. Their offense is ranked top 10. Now, Zach Wilson returns potentially week 4. We're seeing this offense click and work. There's no more excuses when Zach comes back. He may be struggling just a tad, but I think him sitting back and watching Joe Flacco, this could be a blessing in disguise because he's young and he can get those mental reps of seeing Joe Flacco pull off a miracle comeback, having that game-winning drive, seeing how poised and confident he was. Zach Wilson comes back. We were hyping up this offense all off season of the playmakers and the protection and the coaches, and we're seeing it work. Like this Jets team, offensively speaking, the scheme is proving to work. It's all about Zach Wilson to come back and really break out, and I'm really excited to see him do just that, as we hope. So Euphoria, we appreciate the $5 donation, my man. So guys, we're going to wrap up the stream here. We want to go live for a quick half hour to break down the Jets-Bengals upcoming game. Jack, your final score predictions, if you are a betting man, and if you win $1 million, if you get the score prediction correct.
Everyone's going to hate me, dude. Don't ask me that. If I'm a betting man or a Jets fan?
Give your both.
Oh, God. Well, if I'm a Jets fan, I'll go with what I went with for week 1. I'll go with 21-20 Jets over the Bengals. But if I'm a betting man, I don't know, guys. I'm hoping that this team is ready to play, that they didn't get cocky after last week. This is the time to really see, okay, all gas, no brake. Let's see it, Salah. This is an opportunity to keep your foot on the gas, win one at home to an 0-2 team that looks like shit to start the year. Let's see the defensive line absolutely get after it. And it's possible. But we'll see. I don't know. Betting man, you know what? I'll still go with the Jets. You know what?
Hey.
21-20 Jets.
This is the defensive breakout game.
Another 1-point win this week. How about that?
Let's go.
Two 1-point wins in a row. And you know what? All that is 2 wins in a row, baby.
If we win on Sunday, you definitely want to tune in to this YouTube channel all week long because we're going to be celebrating 2 weeks straight of victories. Listen, man. Oh, my God. The Jets have a chance to win this football game for a multitude of reasons. I think this is the opportunity for the defense to break out. We saw them play really good football week number 1, but unfortunately the offensive special teams was not there. Week 2, defense was not there. Offensive special teams was there. So I think this time it needs to be all about the defense, getting to Joe Burrow, and let's see some interceptions. He leads the league in picks, I think. He has 5. I don't know if anybody has more than that. But let's see a couple interceptions. Let's see DJ Reed or Sauce or CJ or Quan. I don't care who it is. Let's get some interceptions, turn the ball over, and let's get to the quarterback, and let's win this damn football game. Guys, if you guys enjoyed the stream, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes by the end of the stream. I really do appreciate that, guys. If you want to see Jack tuning into the stream more often, hit that thumbs up button so I know that you guys want to see Jack. If you don't hit the like button, then I guess Jack shouldn't even be on the stream to begin with because you guys don't like him. So again, guys, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate each and every one of you guys in the channel. And guys, tune in live on Jets Media Sunday at 12:45 for my live play-by-play reaction. Last week was awesome. Hopefully we can have the same type of energy this Sunday. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We love you guys. Let's go Jets.
Let's go Jets, baby. Thank you, guys.
Big
Peace.
dub.